Saturday showdown. Nongshim Red Force versus Kiwoom DRX.
This team, they haven't beat, they've been kind of a bit of a fast and loose team. They're definitely more fast and loose with Kanavi added, but I think it's just the lens is super fixated on them, right? Because we kind of have been reflecting on their short time in the LCK Cup. But I think at the end of the day, even, our top teams, there's been a lot of periods where T1, who have been extremely successful, have gone through periods where their regular season games haven't been super clean, and we don't look into it too heavily. So I'm not taking a ton of stock in the games being a little bit messy, as long as the result is altogether positive. The question is the rest of the series, right? First game, great, right? Rest of the series needs to sort of follow that trend. We do see D+ going to second pick again, and it looks like the ban's going to carry through exactly the same as they were before. But Rise banned here instead of Pantheon. And I expect Nocturne not to be banned here because I was banned because they were leaving the Ori open. So do they ban the Pantheon themselves is the question. That would kind of put Xin Zhao on a little bit of a pedestal if they were to ban Pantheon. Considering like Jarvan's been taken away.
Yeah. It's a good pick for Kanavi. He can always crescent guard if he gets himself into danger.
They ban Pantheon. I still think it's a good ban. Pantheon's really strong, but I think Xin Zhao kind of ends up in a really good spot as a result. But they are just going to prioritize the Annie. Now, Annie Wukong, really strong. Something we saw last year a lot in Legend and Rise groups. So that's definitely something you lean towards toward if the Xin Zhao gets snapped up, which, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because Lucid has had phenomenal games in the Xin Zhao, and definitely a pick he likes to lean on. As for Showmaker into the Annie, we've often seen like Aurora played into it, which is available. They are just going to pick up the Yunara though for Smash here, and they're actually going to go for the Nocturne first and foremost, it seems. So not leaning towards a Xin Zhao for Lucid.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I do think Nocturne is pretty strong.
Oh, this is actually a bit of a throwback.
Is that going to be played mid? No, they're just going to pick Lulu for the Yunara.
So I think Lulu makes sense, especially if you are... I mean, the thing is you might lose access to Xin Zhao, but Lulu, Yunara, Xin Zhao is a really strong trio because of Lulu's Xin Zhao. We've talked about so many times. The Enchanter plus Xin Zhao, really powerful. Like when Lulu used to be mid, that was a great duo. But Yunara, Lulu, great combo. A lot of DPS. And it looks like it's going to be met with the Corki Nami. And Corki Nami can struggle a little bit into the Yunara Lulu. If you let them get wave access, they actually have a bit of a bad time sometimes with the 2v2, so got to be careful. I think if I was D+, you can look to prioritize a mid lane pick, but I would probably just go jungle here. They are looking at the Nocturne. Xin Zhao's available too. I personally, considering Lucid's specialty on the pick, I probably would lean towards that, but they seem pretty set on the Nocturne.
Yeah, I like the Xin Zhao as well. I think the synergy you get with the Lulu is just way too strong, and the frontline potential into this Annie can be very nice, but...
I think one thing with the Nocturne is you get like the dive in into the immediate Lulu ult, which is pretty powerful, and it's quite reliable engage, which you normally lack with a Lulu, so I guess they're pretty set on having that, which I can understand, don't fault them for it. We've seen the Nocturne Lulu work to great effect. It was something KT played last week. And now looking to target some of the picks from the jungle for HLE. Lee Sin being banned, Lee Sin Annie really strong, point and click CC to set up the Sonic Wave. And we see the Aurora band, which I talked a bit about. Showmaker playing that Wukong as well, the Annie Wukong. As I said, really strong duo. The Morgana got hovered, and I know we don't normally talk about hovers, but that was something that was played last year by Vikla into the Annie. So I wonder if HLE put stock in it, or if D+ are actually potentially thinking about it, because, into the Annie would honestly make a decent amount of sense. Can just clear out the wave.
Yeah, it's also like a second support for your hyper carry.
Yeah.
Right? You could put a Black Shield on the Yunara, maybe just let Smash carry the game.
Not exactly a pick I really attribute to Showmaker, but he has a very eclectic pool, so,
Yeah, he should play Echo instead. That would be fun.
Oh, toying with idea for Zoe. We've seen... Okay, he's going for the classic. I was going to say, we've seen one man in this league just kind of run the rift on Zoe.
Yeah.
But it has been a little difficult for other players to replicate. Showmaker, definitely one of the players I expect to be able to replicate it, but he's going to go for the Syndra instead, one of his classic picks.
It's very good in the lane against the Annie as well.
Yeah. And can pick up and throw tippers.
Yes.
Kha'Zix's coming through for Kanavi, and then the Blind Gnar. Will Shiwu look to punish this Blind Gnar with something in the form of counter pick? We'll see. And the Kha'Zix's coming through. Bit of an interesting one, not something we've seen a ton of recently. Okay, we're getting the Kennen. We did see this matchup recently not go well for the Kennen, but I think that was a little bit down to execution.
Yeah, that was actually Rich that did play that. And it's just going to be a Zambessa instead.
Okay, it feels a little bit like D+ are going for some classics in the solo lanes. You know,
Yeah.
the Shiwu Ambessa, the Showmaker, Syndra. I think kind of only losing out to his TF in terms of, I mean, honestly on par with it in terms of iconicness.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kha'Zix's coming out. A pick that obviously can be a bit feast or famine. You know, the isolated damage is insane. Very much momentum-based pick. My only concern about it is this not too long ago got nerfed. They nerfed his movement speed. They nerfed his AD ratio on his Q. And the movement speed nerf honestly does hit him a good amount. And also, you're playing into a team comp where I just struggle to see scenarios where you're finding people isolated. Like, is Yunara going to be isolated from Lulu? Probably not. If you find Syndra... Oh, nice little flip between...
That's a mistake we made many a time.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to dive onto a Syndra? Not really. It's going to be a struggle, you know? If you find someone isolated, the Nocturne can just dive in. So we'll see what Kanavi can do on this pick, but I think it's not the easiest Kha'Zix's game, if I'm being honest.
It definitely is not, but maybe he's feeling himself after that Jarvan game. We'll have to see how it goes in game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, game number 2 on the way.
Yeah, I mean, Kanavi's no stranger to bringing out picks that are a bit outside the meta. I remember when I was casting the LPL, he brought out this Shaco jungle game.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was kind of an old time. It was into Nocturne, and he was just dropping boxes, and whenever they dove in, they got feared. Worked to great effect. I'm just not seeing the lines as much in this game specifically, but, you know, I'm ready to be proven wrong. Create taking some heavy damage in this bot lane. I think you have to be a little careful because Anami has a lot more sustain than you.
Yeah.
You are really trading a lot of your health.
Yeah, he went into the alcove as well. Kind of just throws out the heal.
That is both potions down from the Lulu. I think one of the things is you're going to have to wait for Yunara to stack up the passive and join you in the trades. And that was kind of just like Korea, like, no. I'll 1v2.
Maybe he just really wanted to put on a lot of pressure so that Nocturne can get some stuff done, but either way...
No fear.
Lucid is here. The stun is going to land, and he's got red buff. I think Zeka, ooh, with the shield.
Lucid has no tether, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just going to TP back to the lane, so... I mean, they got his TP.
Wait, look how slow it is. It looks so funny. Hello! Stunned again.
Well. Very interesting start to this game.
Yeah, quite an opportunistic sort of play, but Lucid did actually invade there, so Kanavi's now having to counteract it. Now finds Lucid here. Sorry, Lucid finds Kanavi. Well, they find each other, I guess. But Kanavi will miss out on a red buff as a result, and doesn't really have that much to do right now, because he heads to his own jungle. There's only his Krugs up and available, so I wonder if he tries to cross over and steal more camps. Or go for a bot gank.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if this can line up. Lots of damage already done into Smash and Career, and now they're being very aggressive. Smash might just die to the bottom lane, but here comes Kanavi, picks up the first blood, just like game number 1.
So much of the work was done there by HLE's bot lane. Just a sliver of HP on Smash as Kanavi slides in, gets the value on the play, but now Lucid looking to challenge. Just as risky, though, with Delight there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got red buff, though. That's going to help out a lot. And
yeah, Delight low on mana, too,
Guma
so
has to leave.
I guess forces him away.
And Bass on a 6-game losing streak, by the way, in this LCK. We did see that 4 of those games were by junglers.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Let's blame the junglers. Yeah, so
Yes.
this play is really important, and honestly, you can kind of be critical of the bot lane of D+ here because Kanavi has nothing to do but this gank. Because if he goes to his Krugs, then he's just, you know, he kills his Krugs and then he's just waiting for camps to respawn. So he was kind of really banking on bot lane being gankable. And they were. And so Guma and Delight force the play, get Smash super low. He just comes in, sweeps up the kill. And even though he's still down on farm, Kanavi ends up in a much better off position than he could be otherwise. That being said, he is still behind, and we see Lucid stealing away his Raptors again and pulling ahead in the jungle matchup. And the thing is, some matchups, you know, Nocturne pulling ahead is bad because you get 6 earlier, but it's not, you know, it might not be the end of the world. Kha'Zix is another farm the 6 jungler. He is another champion like Nocturne where you really just want to get your level 6 as soon as possible. It's a huge power spike. So the fact that he's behind the curve isn't exactly spectacular. So he's hoping to catch up as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, we see that Smash is taking a beating and does not have flash, so they're looking to pressure him out as much as possible.
Yeah, when you get detached from the wave, when you get pushed off it, it feels really bad because your passive drops off, and then they can force on you, and you just can't trade autos very well. So Delight, Guma playing this one pretty well in this situation, finding angles to really twist the knife here. Now they are potentially looking for Showmaker. Zeka has no flash, so I think the angle might be tough.
Okay, we got Meganar coming in here, but actually, she was going in with his ult, and now Zeus doesn't really have any more CDs, and in the 1v1, ooh, she actually got to back off of that, maybe thinking that Kanavi was there, but Kanavi's fighting with Lucid. So
I think he's concerned maybe about rotation of cooldowns.
yeah, that's just going to be the end of Lucid here. He is going to flash and just die. Kanavi picks up the kill. And that's number 2 for Kanavi, and now they're just being bullied under the turret down here. Zeka is going to take 2 turret shots, but I think they're okay with that. And as Guma picks up the 1, and they're just corralled against the wall. There's nothing they can do. Tiber's even going to get in there and help out. And eventually, Kanavi picks up kill number 3 and dies to the turret.
That's perfect. You know, the value of Tibbers there at tanking the tower so they can reset the aggro, and the fact that Kanavi ends up going, giving over the execute works out so well. This from Zeka was beautiful. Sliding into this brush. Lucid just doesn't expect it. Gets exploded with the Tibbers drop on his head. They take out the jungler. Now they're in trouble, and the Tibbers, they get the damage down. Zeka tanks tower for a bit, then drops the aggro. They get the polymorph out of career here, and then just poke by time, kill one of them, let Tibbers tank up the tower for a bit, and they go for the redive. Guma tanks it because he can Valk away, and Kanavi ends up getting an execute. It was just beautifully played throughout, and now this Kha'Zix, I was concerned about whether it would work in this situation. Well, it's definitely working so far. 3-1,
yeah.
1,500 gold lead. Opportunity picked up. This is a pick that is already so snowballed.
Yeah, I mean, Kanavi, like, he was carrying on Jarvan, right? He was very aggressive. He had winning lanes. He utilized it so well. This time on the Kha'Zix, he's going to enjoy this league even more. And I love that HLE, they go, you know, they take what they had going so well for them in Game 1, and they just kind of double down on it in Game 2. They pick a more aggressive mid-jungle duo, and they're just getting so much value out of playing aggressive, being proactive, and finding picks.
My interpretation is Game 1 he was super fed, but he's like, I'm on Jarvan, guys.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, I'm doing stuff, but I could do more. Give me a real carry for Game 2.
Yeah, now
You know, we're lucky it's not a best of 5. Game 3 it'd be on like Blue Cane or something.
Maybe we're not so lucky after all. I'd love to see that as... Yeah, now Kanavi just gets to do this.
Or maybe the D+ fans are the lucky ones not to be on the receiving end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Kha'Zix is one of those picks where definitely feast or famine. But we talked about like the whole, you know, how often are people going to be isolated? If you're behind, easy just to group up. And even if you're not grouped up, like you can still kind of deal with him. But now he's ahead. I mean, there's just like, there can be a brief window where you think you're okay. You're just walking between little pockets of vision. He just shows up, jump scare, you're dead. TP coming bot. This is the Syndra, by the way.
Yeah. Showmaker doesn't have flash, but he's trying to set up a play here onto the support, and Delight is going to go down. They give that kill over to Smash, and they're continuing with the Wild Growth. Guma trying to take the trade against that. Not going to work out for him.
Yeah, I really don't understand why he stuck around there. Delight was dead, unfortunately. The setup from Showmaker was good, but I think Guma just hung around a bit too long to try and make something more from it. And as a result, it's 2 kills. So big influx of gold, specifically onto Smash on this Yunara. And if there's someone, actually, you don't want fed, it is this Yunara.
Yeah, nice little play set up by Showmaker and Career, essentially, you know, to get that deep ward in. Showmaker is... he doesn't have flash, so eventually, if you're going to walk up into the lane at all, you're just going to die, and that's exactly what happens. Gets flashed on by Annie, and his life flashes before his eyes.
Limited counterplay. Yeah, so in this situation, Delight flashes, gets stunned, dead. I think Guma was like, maybe I have a kill angle, but Smash, they start the Wild Growth. I think you could have just left.
Yeah.
I think 100% you can get out there. A little bit greedy and ends up paying for it. Try to look for the kill angle, the turnaround. There's no kill angle, no turnaround. You're just dead.
Yeah.
And
just accept your fate.
Something we haven't really talked about, objective control for the Kha'Zix who is ahead is absurd. Yeah. That's Grubs, already got that first dragon. Second dragon's too much. You can just murder these objectives so quickly.
Yeah, and if you're Lucid, you're like, well, I don't have my first item. I have not found a good Paranoia target in this game.
Yeah.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I can't do an objective. Do I just farm more Raptors? I guess so. I mean, maybe they can get Zeka with his flash down? And now here's Kanavi once again, by the way. Looking to hop into this brush and be very annoying, but it looks like Career and Smash will respect it.
Yeah, not going to overstep here. They're a little bit suspicious. And they will just go for the recall. I think Smash has first item as well. So we'll buy instead. So we'll respect it. Speaking of first item, Shu has Eclipse. Big spike here for the Ambessa. We did see him nearly get the better of Zeus in that 1v1. So now with that spike as well, definitely an angle to find the all-in. If he doesn't get smashed into the wall.
Well, he's been enjoying that so far, as that's a nice hop away from Zeus. Good expectation of that play.
I think you're just dead now. I think Kanavi says, yep, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a control ward in the brush. Shu does have flash, and we'll see if he can utilize that to get away. Lots of dashes here on the Ambessa. Flash on in, and Kanavi just executes him. Shu doesn't even bother to flash. Is now down in the bottom lane. They're trying to make this Nocturne work. A Smash is going to tank up the turret, but now Zeka is here, and he will be able to trade one back. Unfortunately, Delight does get the kill, but still at least a 1-for-1.
Yeah, they used the Wild Growth on a Lucid to give him that knock-up, to give him that extra sort of CC for the all-in, but unfortunately Smash ends up taking all of the damage, and he ends up being the target in the return trade, so ends up being a 1-for-1 on the bot side. Meanwhile, they've got this pretty free kill here. Just so much damage from Kanavi here. And so much from first strike as well, by the way. So he's printing money. And yeah, they go for this play. So they go for the sort of knock-up with the Wild Growth. But it's Smash who's tanking the tower initially and just ends up already a little bit low, and the Tibbers combo just nukes him. No wild growth to keep him safe. So it ends up being pretty even. But look how much gold Kanavi has. I wonder how much he's gotten from Fierce Strike.
136 so far by 12 minutes and 50 seconds.
I think he got a ton of it in that last kill onto Shiwu. I actually think he got the majority of it just in that play there. So that was certainly a money printing play.
So now second Drake picked up by the Kazakhs. Kanavi kills in about, 3 milliseconds. And now you got a Mountain Soul on the way super early on. This is a very different scenario from what we saw in game number 1, where it was an Ocean Soul and it was late. And now 2-item Kazakhs. Okay, they're going to avoid him.
Yeah, the Umbral Glaive as well, which gives that empowered strike when you come out from not being seen, which synergizes so well with your ultimate.
I think it's something that Atlas loves to mention is that, any champ that can use Umbral Glaive is just OP because the item is OP. And we don't see a lot of champs that actually pick it up because we don't see too many lethality-focused junglers.
Well, I feel like it specifically kind of feels like it's almost designed for Kazakhs.
Yeah.
Because his passive does a very similar thing, right?
Hello. Here, let me just cue you a couple times, and Shiwu doesn't get to play the game. Not very fun for him. Lucid is nearby, though, as Zeka is like, oh, nice dodge on that. That was insane from Zeka. It's a nice little sidestep, and now Career has seen his life flash before his eyes. 1Q, the wild growth, he's desperately trying to get away, and he will, but has to use quite a lot and doesn't have a health bar.
A little bit close there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a touch. But yeah, so, the Night Stalker thing is if you haven't been visible for a second, your next basic attack is empowered. And then Kazakh's passive is after they lose sight of him, where you ult, your next basic attack is empowered. So it's like double empowered.
Yeah.
It literally feels like the item is designed for Kazakhs. So very, very OP. Yeah, Smash getting chunked out a bit. Oh.
All right, going on in here, a bit of an all-in on Naguma. The fear does come through, but they cannot follow. And guess who's here again? Kanavi is like, I can go in at the press of a button. He's not going to do it, though. Actually takes a bunch of damage here from Smash, who's trying desperately to pull the team up.
I think they could have got the kill if Korea wanted a flash to get the wild growth. Actually, sorry, it wasn't up. Never mind. So, I think I got the kill
used
there.
it to survive against Kanavi earlier.
True, yeah.
Rough times.
So yeah, kill just wasn't available. So we're able to find the angle, and I think it feels a little bit bad when you're not getting those kills with the paranoia. But do you see Zeus moving over? But it's a Gnar who can just hop over the wall, and they don't have the ult available.
All right, bit of a trade in mid. The bubble will be dodged, but barrier has to be used. Smash is going in with this, has the red buff and the shield.
Kanavi's there.
7 seconds away, he just disappears, blows up in the blink of an eye. And now Zeus wants it down in the bottom lane, is going for a bit of an all-in. She's gonna have to back away from that. And HLE are just winning everywhere.
Smash not having ultimate, Korea not having his. These cooldowns, I feel like, really just hitting. D+ if had those available, could have made something from that, but Kanavi just swoops in to pick up the kills.
Yeah, it's kind of insane what this Fed Kazakhs can do, and I think he's making POM votes very easy at this point in time. Very overextended, but Kanavi says, this is my comfort zone. I will overextend and get another kill. See you on the flank, though, is going to pick up one, gets over the tidal wave, gets another for the team. Zeus hopping on in, he wants a kill. Is going to find himself face-to-face with Smash, and maybe goes a bit over-aggressive himself. Does have the Mega Gnar on the way, though. And Kanavi's still here.
Shiwu!
Shiwu, not like this! As he's kind of running out of dashes, and eventually, with no flash, he... dodges the house and gets away. And Wild Growth gets used for nothing, but he gets away.
I think Zeus expected the sidestep there, and he he did the patented standstill approach.
Ironer Challenger.
And we see here, so in the extended trade, Smash starts to win, but doesn't have ult, doesn't have the wild growth to chase down, and Knavi just jumps on and goes, yep, goodbye. Kaboom. A little bit deep from Knavi, not able to chase a second kill. And then this ensuing play, Shiva comes in, and Lucid even forces the Valkyrie. Unfortunately, Korea just dies, but they're setting up for the Ambassador to come in and just take everyone down, apart from Kazakhs, obviously. It starts to get a little bit messy here. Zeus is a bit tanky for Smash to cut through at this point, as much as he tries.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little bit hectic here. Honestly, the noises of Knavi hitting Shiwu, just like the chinking noise, like hitting the armor. The standstill classic.
By the way, meanwhile, in live, Lucid is dying.
Oh my god.
He just disappears as well. 8-1, and the one death was to a turret. Knavi has not given any gold to the enemies. He also got, by the way, the first Mountain Drake. So now they're on Mountain Soul Point.
Kind of a masterclass from Knavi right now.
So who are you going to vote for POM?
You know what? I'm really feeling the Zeus sleeper vote, right? For the Yorick in game one.
How about Justice for supports?
No. Zaka for the Shockwave game one.
Yeah.
Sent up the jungler.
Huge.
Oh.
All right, well, Guma's in a lot of trouble. It's not going to be him. I'll tell you that. A nice little pick here from Guma.
Yeah, I think he really got
from Showmaker.
He really got outplayed by Syndra there.
Yeah.
Getting the R press. Yeah. Whoa.
Shouldn't have gotten stunned.
True. Speaking of outplayed, look how much. Oh.
Okay, they think they can kill Knavi. We'll see if they can. Looks like maybe they can. Yes, they can. Showmaker does pick up a lot of gold.
Gotta have one a game, apparently. Just one
He's
moment.
Still 4,500 gold ahead.
You know what? I think Knavi is still finding his limits. And every game this series has got to have that one moment where he's
taking him
like,
a while to figure it out.
he's just like, how deep can I go? Well, this is the answer. This is too far.
He has Edge of Night, so he's like, oh, I should be fine. No, it's Syndra. You know, she has 4 different skills that can proc that, actually, so.
Yeah, a lot of champions do.
Yeah.
Well, 3 minutes until Mountain Dragon. HLE have a lead. It's not insurmountable, but obviously puts them in a good spot. That's the thing with Kazakhs, right? This Kazakhs is monster fed, but in like a tight 5v5, there are situations where he doesn't get value.
The burst from the Corki is just insane.
Yeah, that's my concern, is that, you know, as much as the Kazakhs is a lot of the gold, there are other strong members on HLE. I don't know if you know who I'm referring to.
Delight.
Yes, with
Justice
Serial
for
Mandate.
supports. Yeah.
Bit of a threat. Oh. Navi's fishing.
You can't enter the jungle. Just Knavi is... I mean, anyone at this point. If you try to enter by yourself, you're just dead. Nobody's tanky enough to get away from that damage.
Yeah. Mid tier 2 taken down. Just pressure on all 3 lanes right now. They haven't really locked down vision towards the Dragon area. They're kind of getting some more vision towards Baron, as there is an objective on the cards right now. And they do take it incredibly fast with the Kazakhs, Corki. But I think focus probably going to be on this Dragon. Resets just come through, so I expect them to move vision towards that. We'll see. Obviously, against the Nocturne, he can always kind of reach it, but if he's ulting just to contest a smite, there's no way they win the fight. And with the Baron being available, if you ult in to try and smite steal, whether you're successful or not, you probably just lose Baron.
Yeah. You just go in, you die, and they take the objective. You see that Deeplaskia is trying to push together as a team, minus you, who's going to be split pushing.
Have you seen the item differential between Lucid and Kanavi.
Yes.
It's 4-1 completed items.
Yeah.
4-1. And I know lethality items are cheap, but 4-1.
4-1 is actually just insane. Maybe they get a nice little pick here. It's a lot of damage at least. Now Kanavi's kind of in an awkward spot.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit early.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be able to heal back up. He's even going to be able to get his Edge and Knight back up. It does give you some pressure. But Showmaker's not going to have his ult available for the fight. It is ticking away pretty quickly, to be fair. Maybe it's actually going to be up in time, to be honest.
Yeah. It's Syndra after all. Looks like Korea going to get a McHale's. She's going to find a lot of members and lack of vision in his face.
Honestly, I'm amazed by how quickly the ult's coming back for Syndra. I mean, not even rank 3. It's not quite up right now, but it'll be up soon. But they're just not even able to approach. Konkavi's back to full HP.
Yeah, the damage they have on this dragon as well. I mean, it really doesn't give you a lot of breathing room or a lot of time. They're going to try to go in on Naguma, but immediately the peel is there with the tidal wave. And Zeus in the front is going to find 3. Doesn't knock him into the wall, but again, the damage is done. They kill the jungler, they get the Mountain Soul, and now they're just going to take Showmaker, who is desperately trying to contest in mid, and one by one the dominoes fall.
Yeah, they didn't even need Showmaker to get the Baron, but it just really secures the objective because it just makes sure that D+ don't really have a good chance of contesting. Being down 2 members. Playing into Mountain Soul as well, that extra buffering. You can see that Zeus and Zeka are even going to play defense on this mid tower. They can't even get a consolation prize at this point. 6,000 gold lead, free Baron take. I think this game is as good as done. We'll see. The Nocturne dies in and just gets exploded. Nothing to be done there. And then Kanavi doing so much damage on the flank. Zeus gets this huge ult that, again, it doesn't connect to the wall, but it just essentially separates the fight. We'll see Zeka flash in to kill the Syndra, and it's just over from there.
Yeah.
It felt like there wasn't really a big point of contest from the side of D+. There's such a big discrepancy in terms of gold. And like we see, IE picked up for Smash. Do I think it would have made a difference in that fight? Probably not, but you'd have loved to have that spike before you have to play for Mountain Soul. But unfortunately, at this point, you're just so much in the hole right now. Like, your Nocturne is just useless. You fly in and get one shot.
Yeah.
You have less items than everyone on the other team.
He still doesn't have a second item.
You have less items
Than everyone on your team.
Like, look at the gold. Look at the 4 lowest people in terms of gold. It's the Lulu, the Annie, the Nami, and the Nocturne. And yes, like, who cares about Annie gold? You just stun people.
Yeah, you just press your tippers. Okay, job done. And now Guma gets to go forward, and the Kha'Zix hasn't even joined. Lucid gonna send one last one for the social media, and that's about it for him. And he's just gonna, he's like trying to grab the wave. He's like, nah, never mind. HLE, really, it was just all done except a clean victory in this one, and it looks like they might just get that clean victory as another stun is gonna come out into the bubble, and Chiyu does not get to play the game once again. And ooh, the damage from the big one straight into Showmaker's back. And just like that, they can just siege. They have the Baron buff. It's so comfortable here for Humble Life Esports. And it is looking like an actual clean 2-0. Not much to see here. A little bit in game 1, but that was about it. As HLE going to dominate D+ Kia here in this series, 2-0. And they're not even done yet. Is Kanavi going to give a kill over to Smash and call it a day?
Kanavi just kind of going crazy, and Guma does get his 300th win in the LCK.
He's going to pass
80
Vipers.
carry to get it. And I just really think that when you think the potential of some of these players, it's really exciting to start to see what can happen, because, you know, we've seen internationally, we've seen the LPL, what Kanavi can do, right? I think no one was questioning that. It's just, would it work with this team? Would it be able to come together? And I think it's still early days, we're starting to get glimpses.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start. And even for the side of HLE, Humble Life Esports to start off the season 2-1 with a loss to T1 when you're not really in form, I think it's totally fine. You're in a pretty good spot. Maybe you get revenge against T1 in the future. Perhaps in a Legend Group match if those two end up making it there. And yeah, a lot of the comments here at the end are basically just let's get them. Not really much else to say at the end of this one. And the damage is really disgusting out of a fed Kha'Zix.
Oh.
Do you think Zeus gets any votes?
No.
I don't think he should.
I think it is a full Kanavi vote. I don't think it's close. I don't even think it's close. In fact, I am not even slightly shocked. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the thing is, I think like if he'd had like, you know, an average game 1, I think he still would have got it.
Yeah.
Because his game 2 was so dominant. But he popped off in game 1 too. This was like the double POG POM.
Yeah.
This was like